Hi, welcome back to my lab. Today I have something very unusual. So this is a heavy item, approximately 10 kilos. So I bought this thing for different reasons. As you can see, this thing was made by Astrium. Astrium was a company specialized in space industries, satellites and stuff like that. It is written solid-state stable platform. It is probably a solid-state gyro, like a vibrating structure gyro or something like that. But I don't understand why this thing is so heavy. There is a time counter here, 450 hours currently. On that side there is a connector. I am looking forward to see what is inside. So let's remove the cover of that thing. Okay, so let's remove the cover. Wow, look at that. Look at that. It seems that there is a servo control of something. This thing is a synchro resolver. This thing is a motor, but it is strange because I don't see anything connected to the shaft of this motor. Look at that. There is no shaft actually. This thing is actually the servo control amplifier. You can see the symbol, the amplifier on that device. It has the shape of the motor, but actually this is an amplifier. And we can see also we have a capacitor here. So I think that this capacitor is used also for the AC motor. Because you can see that we need a capacitor, as you can see here. Okay, so this is an AC motor with a central point. We can check the DCR between the two terminals of this capacitor. Okay, so there is a resistance of 42 ohms. So I think that the middle point of the AC motor is connected to the 24 volts power supply. So probably that the 24 volts power supply is available between the two pins of this capacitor. So the negative side is here, should be connected to ground. Okay. This point is the 24 volts. It should be connected to the middle point of the AC motor. Okay, so there is a resistance of 21 ohms, as you can see. So it is effectively half the value of the resistance between the two terminals of the capacitor. So this is effectively the capacitor which is in parallel to the windings of the AC motor. And the middle point is connected to the 24 volts power supply. Okay, you can see this large gear here with backlash compensation. So there is another synchro transmitter, synchro, what is this? Synchro resolver. Okay, so this seems to be the same than this one. Okay, and the motor is here. You can see the motor is a small pinion, so the motor is hidden in the middle here, and there are several parts soldered. So you can see on the top there is a DC-DC converter, two trim pots. Maybe there is something written. There is an adjustment of the elevation, and the other one is cross elevation. I don't know what does it mean. So here there is an accelerometer. So this is effectively an inertial system, plus or minus 1G. This accelerometer is from Lucas Chaywitz. And it seems there is another one here. It is probably the same, but in another axis. And maybe we should have a third one. And okay, we have something very interesting, effectively. There is a VSG here. So we can see that there is a single axis VSG, so this is a vibrating structure gyroscope, 100 degrees per second. And it seems that there is another one here, and the third one. There is one vibrating structure gyro for each axis. And this thing is very heavy, it is difficult to manipulate. And there is here a CPU board. There is an EEPROM for the code, obviously. And there are two little bodges here, 2 or 3. And there is a Maxim part, Max 501. Let's see what is the microprocessor. It is very difficult to remove this sticker. Yes, okay, so okay, but this is a very classic 68HC11. Okay, so here there is a DG406, so this is an analog multiplexer. It's difficult to read. Okay, and we should have maybe an SRAM here, not sure. No, this is a DS7807. There is another DG406. This is maybe an ADC. As you can see, there is a data bus which is connected to the CPU, and we can see also several lines which are connected to the analog multiplexer here, so I don't know. And there is here 353. It is maybe an op-amp. I don't know, it is, yes, maybe an LF353, but the first letters are erased. You can see that there is a short circuit between pin 1 and 2, so this is an op-amp which is used as a voltage follower, at least the first part. Yes, on the top here, these 2 pins, and you can see that we have 2 decoupling capacitors. One is connected to pin 8, second one to pin 4 probably, yes, this one here. Okay, so effectively this is a dual op-amp, and here there is, yes, so this is a voltage reference probably. You can see that 2 pins are connected together, there is an adjustment, I don't know, this is maybe a voltage reference, maybe for the ADC, if this thing is an ADC. Yes, so this is an ADS7807 from Burr-Brown, so this is effectively an ADC. There is a Max 216 here. And there is a small connector, maybe for test purposes. Okay, so I don't know the purpose of the entire stuff. It is obviously an inertial platform, so maybe it can be interesting to supply this thing, but you need several power supplies. It was written on the ident sticker. We need plus or minus 15 volts, 24 volts, and 26 volts AC. Okay, and there is also a PCB on the top. There is also a bottom side of this PCB with few SMD parts. And it is strange, there is here a through-hole part which is soldered as an SMD, you can see. This is very weird. And there is another one, you can see this one also. Actually I didn't see, but the complete central stuff can rotate actually relative to the base. And you can see that there are 2 holes here, so this permits probably to place a shaft. Okay, I didn't see, but there is a screw which permits effectively probably to unlock this system. Okay, you can see this can rotate, and there is a stop here. Okay. Okay. We can see that there are several problems on the electronic design of this unit. So first, the right angles of the tracks. So this can be a trap for the acid. There should be a netching, which is more important on the corners here. And also the width of the tracks are very small. As you can see, the annular rings of the vias are very small also. As we can read, this board is issue number 2, but this is not the main problem. So we can see also that there are some very strange solderings here, and this is not normal also for this class of instrument. Look at that here. Actually, the footprint of these two ICs is a footprint for SMD part, but a through-hole part is connected. The work is very bad here. Look at that. And we can see also very strange things on the CPU board. For example, let's see these decoupling capacitors here. Look at that. So we have 3 capacitors. Normally there should be the decoupling for these 3 parts here. So the ground is here, so you can see the track of the ground. The track is below this EEPROM and is connected to that point. So we can remove this EEPROM. Okay, so we can see the ground track here. The ground, and this track is connected to the ground, probably using this via here. It is a very small via also. So there is at high frequency a large impedance here. So the decoupling effect is very small, and also they are connected here in parallel. So normally we should have one capacitor close to this IC, another one here, another one here. So this is a very bad decoupling practice. Okay, we can see also the very bad solderings of the wires to the accelerometers here. Look at that. Anyway, that's all for today. Next time I will try to find the power supply pins on the connector, and I will try to supply this thing. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.